Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And since now we're near the end of this year, and I wanted to quickly want to talk about one of my favorite films of this year, and which this is one is in my top 10 for sure. But I just want to talk before I make my list. But I really enjoyed this film, and it's a remake that I surprisingly enjoyed because a lot of times remakes suck nowadays. But there have been remakes that I enjoy though. I enjoy the tech. Well, John Carpenter's A Thing and The Blob and The Fly from the '80s. Yeah, but I'm talking about those are classics though. But I'm talking about like from this time, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. I enjoy that remake. Friday the 13th, 2009. I never minded that movie. That sort of remake. I love the House of Wax remake. House on Haunted Hill, I enjoyed. Dawn of the Dead remake from Zack Snyder. I enjoy that remake a lot. What are the horror, especially horror remakes? What other remakes I enjoyed? I'm just looking on what are the ones I enjoyed. Well, yeah, Maniac. Yeah, that was the 2012. I think it was from 2012. I think it was the remake with Elijah Wood. That's another one that I enjoyed. But yeah, of course, the ones that suck, of course, like Rob Zombie's Halloween, 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street, the Hitcher remake, Day of the Dead, that abysmal, Black Christmas. The remake of John Carpenter's The Fog. But this beats the shit out of those shitty remakes. This remake that I enjoyed. And this one, now it's not as good as the original. Yes, of course, but still I really enjoyed it. The Child's Play remake that came out earlier during the summer. I really enjoyed this remake. So lo and behold, another remake from 2019. I enjoyed. Oh yeah, that's another remake. Yeah, better than the Jacob's Ladder. That's another. That's an insult, right? Another insult right there. Insulted to Tim Robbins' performance from the original. Yeah, speaking of that, yeah, Jacob's Ladder sucked. This is much better than the Jacob's Ladder remake. Or any of the shitty ones I mentioned. But yeah, the Child's Play from 2019, definitely my favorite films this year. Maybe I'll put it in my top 5, or will it be 5 or 6? I'm not sure though. I'll have to decide on that though. But the best horror film for me this year is Crawl. That's in my top 5 for sure. I enjoyed Crawl. But horror films been pretty good for me this year. I mean, not all of them though, but this film, Crawl, to me is the best horror film. I enjoyed Doctor Sleep. Despite a couple of issues though, I like Doctor Sleep. So horror has been pretty good for me this year. Even especially for a remake, this one I enjoyed. So, but there's been talks about remakes for a while now, and well, Don Mancini, the guy who started this whole franchise, basically, and he directed the 3 shitty films, Seed, Curse, and Cult. He got pissed that they were remaking it, and which I'm glad now. I'm glad he's pissed at this film. You know, I was like, yeah, you're not the one to talk here, okay? You made 3 shitty films, Seed, Curse, and Cult. And also, I like this better than Bride of Chucky. He didn't direct it though, but I like this better than Bride of Chucky because I've grown to like it less as the years have come now. So yeah, this is better than Bride, and then the ones that Dominic C directed. To me, the only three good films from the original is the first three movies, the first two and three. First is a classic, 2 is a great sequel, and 3 is a solid but also underrated sequel as well. I enjoyed the first 3 films. To me, that was the last good Chucky film until, and I would say, till this 2019 remake. I hate the one. I don't like Bride Chucky. I grown like less now, and I hate the ones that Don Mancini directed. And I'm glad he's pissed about it. And yeah. Oh, but they also want to do a TV show. Why make a TV show of Child's Play? Well, they did because they made a TV show of The Purge. Yeah, even though they made a Purge, I think they're going for a second season now. Why? They even made a TV show of From Dusk Till Dawn that got a second season. But yeah, I'm glad that Dominic got pissed about this. I'm glad. Serves you right. This film was better than any ones that you directed. So. But this film, I enjoyed it, and the one thing that made this film work is the chemistry between Andy and Chucky here, and the kid who's played by Gabriel Bateman, who played Andy. I thought he did a good job in this film. I didn't think he was that annoying. Because also not that as recently, I thought that some kid actors this year I thought was been pretty good this year also, because I've seen a lot of ones that have been either irritating, annoying, but this year 3 films I've seen where kids are not annoying. Well, this year played by Gabriel Bateman, who plays Andy, I thought he did a good job. I liked he was a pretty decent Andy. Not as good as Alex Vincent was when he was a kid, though, but I thought this kid, Gabriel Bateman, I thought he did a good job playing Andy. And another one I thought was a kid that I didn't think was not annoying, Millie Bobby Brown, star of Stranger Things, from and Godzilla King of the Monsters. I thought she did a good job as well. And the girl who was in Dr. Sleep, the one who also had the shining power, was with Ewan McGregor. I thought she did a good job. The character Abra. I thought she did a good job as well. So yeah, some this year kids in the films where I've seen that they were not annoying. Surprisingly, they were not annoying, not irritating, and and I enjoyed them. So yeah, that's another thing. But the chemistry between Andy and Chucky, that was the thing that made this film work, because that was one thing that they did not establish more in the original. If you think about it, because in the first film with Andy and Chucky in the original, see Andy would tell like his mother or the cop like, oh, Chucky told me this, like whisper in his ear. But that was as far as they went though. But here you see actually the Chucky doll, well, the buddy. It's no longer called a good guy doll, but a buddy. Bonding with Andy, doing some stuff together with it. So yeah, they took the more bonding, the friendship, but not friendship, but the chemistry with each other a little bit further than it was in the original. So I was like, okay, I thought they took that a little bit further with it, so more in depth with that. So okay, that's nice. That was nice to see. So that was like the main thing of this film worked, and another good positive thing, Mark Hamill. I thought he did a really good job as voicing Chucky. Now, granted, I know Brad Dourif, he's always be the one true voice of Chucky. Especially the first movie, and then the second film, and the third film. And I know as he kept on going on, especially in Curse and Cult, I could tell he was getting... For me, it seemed like he was getting tired of voicing Chucky. He sounded like tired out of it, burnt out. But it's the first film, though, I'm referring to. But Mark Hamill, I thought he did a pretty good job voicing Chucky. And I think I also know that I have the seasons, though, because If I recall, Mark Hamill, he did the voice of Chucky in a parody of Robot Chicken. I got the seasons of Robot Chicken, and for what I recall, there was a parody with Chucky, and he was voiced by Mark Hamill too. Maybe that's why he got the part, because he probably voiced Chucky in that little parody in Robot Chicken. And I liked Robot Chicken. That's a pretty funny show, especially using a show that's like mostly of stop motion animation. I thought that show was kind of unique in a way. So I enjoy Robot Chicken. But I bring that because that was a parody of Chucky in that, and then he was voiced by Mark Hamill. So maybe that's why he got the role of this. So to replace Brad Dourif. But Mark Hamill, especially with Mark Hamill, he gave a much better performance than he did at Luke Skywalker in freaking Last Jedi, where he was. Yeah, Mark Hamill, he did a much better job voicing Chucky here than he portrayed Skywalker in the Last Jedi. I'm sorry, but that's another good thing. Now, a problem I have with the movie. I have a couple. Like I had with Doctor Sleep, I enjoyed the movie, but I had a couple of issues with it though. That's what I said though when I reviewed Doctor Sleep. The same thing here. I got a couple of issues I have with it. The first thing I have, sad to say, I liked her in the show, but Aubrey Plaza, right there, who played. Let me see right there. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza, who plays April Ludgate from Parks and Recreation. You know, who is with Andy, Chris Pratt. I liked her in Parks and Recreation. She was funny in that show. But in here, though, yeah, I guess they said that they wanted to have a younger mom. But I know she's not gonna have the same performance like what Catherine Hicks was in the original. But they could have brought an older they could have brought a little older mother to portray as Andy's mom. But I guess they wanted to go for a younger mom because they Alana Darla, which says, I had a very sweet 16th birthday. So that's why. Pregnant at a young age of 16, that's why. But Aubrey Plaza in this film, I thought her performance to me, honestly, was not over that great. Sad to say, because she was funny in Parks and Recreation, but here, I think they could have picked a better person to play the mom. So that's one issue I have with the movie is Aubrey Plaza's performance in this movie. So I like her in Parks and Recreation as April, but here, sadly though, bit disappointing for me. So that's one issue. But the main focus was the bond between Andy and Chucky was. And and I like the fact that another positive thing, it was not a carbon copy of the original, no voodoo aspect. It wasn't an exact copy and paste. Oh yeah, speaking of remakes, miles better than I said this before, and I'll say it again. Miles better than the Lion King remake. That was straight up copied and paste, and that pissed me off more because it took away all the heart and soul. Like it sucked all the heart and soul out of me, but for that film too, of the original. So yeah, that was copied and paste, but made it live action. I'm sorry. Once again, I don't count it as an animated movie. He says it's the highest grossing anime movie of all time, surpassing Frozen. I'm sorry. That still bugs me when it's it says it's the highest grossing animated movie of all time. What's the point of making it freaking live action if you're calling it animated? Why? Because there's no humans in it. That's why it's animated. Because there's humans in it, people in it. That way it's called live action. I'm sorry. I don't count that as the highest grossing animated film of all time. If it's live action. See, I'm going off tangent because I'd rather talk about this than that piece of garbage. And it's making me mad again. But I'm just pointing out, miles better. If you compare it to a remake, This is much better, 10 times better than the remake of The Lion King. Oh, by the way, if you hear that in the background, my dad is shouting because he's pissed off at how some of the players are playing at golf. That's why. If you hear that, my apologies for that. Sometimes he gets passion when it comes to sports, especially football. But now he's watching golf and he's getting pissed off at it. So apologize for that if you hear that. That's why sometimes when you see some cut scenes, because I try to edit the background though, but I'm not doing it this time. But apologies for that. But anyway, better than the remake of Lion King. I just want to sum it up right there. But as the story goes, how it opens up, how the fact is another thing, leaving out the voodoo aspect. It's AI, artificial intelligence that's gone wrong. Well, the fact is how it opens up in this country. I forget what the country was, where the buddies are being made. This one employee is getting basically shit on by this one other employee, so he gets his little revenge by taking off the safety protocols to this one buddy doll and puts it into the doll, and before that he commits suicide by falling off the building and landing on a car. So that's how the whole thing, how Chucky got wrong because of that guy. And then it cuts to with Andy, who's with his mom, and who just moved into an apartment where he's greeted by a cop, Detective Mike, played by Brian Tyree Henry, which he's starting up a couple of upcoming movies. One, Godzilla vs. King Kong, and then The Eternals. But he plays Detective Mike, which I thought he also did a good job as well. With when he was also talking with Andy as well, trying to make a little humor to cheer the kid up. So, and he wants Andy to make new friends. And then when it comes to that's what she buys from. Well, she gets the doll from an employee who's gonna throw it out or return it. So he takes the doll home, gives it to Andy. He's like, "Oh, this is for little kids." But she's like, "Okay, go and give it a try." And it's when Chucky is on, from then on, it's like, once becomes friends with Andy. And you see, and that's another thing I appreciate, a positive is, yeah, there's some CGI, clearly some CGI things, shots with Chucky, though, but, I do appreciate they still went with some practical animatronics as well. So that's one thing I do appreciate still with some practical effects. So I do appreciate that. That's another positive thing with it. Yeah, you can see there's some CGI enhancements as well in some certain scenes, but I do appreciate they still went with the practical effects of the animatronics as well. So, and you get a little montage of them doing stuff right here, playing games or make him say some stuff. Or one thing I think was because with the bonding, because Chucky wants to become friends with Andy so much, because only he would be Andy's one true friend. Friends to the end. For the first film, basically. Even to the point where he's turned to be his friend so much he doesn't want anything to happen to Andy. They have this Andy has a pet cat named Mickey Rooney, named after the late actor Mickey Rooney. It scratches Andy, and to the point where he starts choking the cat, and then but Andy, because he doesn't that Chucky records this stuff because it's a robot toy. He records the stuff, but he only intentionally says this because he doesn't know all this stuff. He says, I hate that cat, or this and that, and so the next time, he kills the cat, stabs the cat. It's like, now he won't hurt you no more. Now we can play. Like that. So when he killed the cat, and then he just goes and dumps it down the chute. And then the next thing is with the mom, Aubrey Plaza has a new boyfriend, and basically which you would want to hate this guy because he treats Andy like shit. He does. And, you know, it upsets him. Andy's saying, oh, I hate him. I just want him gone. I wish he was gone. And, like, Chucky records this. You know, he's hearing and seeing all this, and he records this. So he goes after the guy. Well, as for before, like, Andy wants Chucky to want to scare the guy by making the face. And I thought it was a really creepy... Now, the design of Chucky didn't bother me that much. I thought it was like, it's not supposed to be like the exact same design how it was in the original Good Guy doll was, but the look of Chucky was different looking, decent, I would say. But the thing is, though, when one scene when Andy wants Chucky to make a face, you know, like this, with eyes wide and wild like this, that just gave me the creeps. Just how the way that Chucky looked and that way he was making those faces just gave me the creeps, basically. That was disturbing looking. That's what my thoughts was as I saw this in the theater, and it's like, wow, it's like, that just gave me the creeps. Yeah, but afterwards, like I said, he records all this. He goes after the guy, sneaks into the guy's truck, and he found out the guy isn't much douchebag because he's actually cheating on his family because he kept his wedding ring in his car so that way the mom would know he was married. So basically, he was cheating on his wife and his 2 kids. Makes him, double dumbass, basically. From Star Trek 4. Well, double dumbass on you. That's what he is. Or a 2-time cheating bitch, basically. Or double dumbass, you could say. And then the guy gets it when he's taking off some lights, and then Chucky moves the ladder and the guy falls, breaks both his ankles as he lands. I was like, ooh, both his ankles got broken. Ow. And then, yeah, this it's not like a lawnmower though, but it's something like has like those spinning blades inside. And Chucky, he was going to stab the guy, but then he was like, oh, then the machine. And you get some pretty good gore in this movie. Some good practical gore effects. That's another positive thing. And then it goes and rams right into the guy's head, and actually a piece of the guy's hair flies off, and it lands on one of the lawn gnomes. And then he goes and says, "This is for Tupac," because earlier he was showing the doll to some kids how he was not acting like an ordinary doll, so they had one of the kids saying, "Hey, say this is for Tupac." So he says that. Or another thing I forgot to mention, because how he's mentally with the stuff with the knives and all that. Because there was a scene where the kids, because Annie met these other 2 kids, this boy and girl, and they were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Really enough, I was like, hey, they're watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. At least this film gets a little appreciative of the film. I'm glad they didn't reference like other ones. They didn't put in other shitty ones like Next Generation or 3D. But hey, it was cool they put in the second film. Although, as they're watching it, the film kept on jumping around. Like first it shows the ending, and then it skips to the beginning. That was like, okay, well, I guess it's a showing that how the Chucky's like observing all this, that maybe that's why it was keep on jumping between scenes, like beginning to the end or whatever. So that's why. But it was like, okay, cool. They showed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That's cool. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, great sequel. The real second film, which 3D is supposed to be the true second film. No. The second one with Dennis Hopper, that's the real sequel. Yeah, the 3D takes place directly after the second film. Yeah, well, after the first film. So what? But let's bring it outside it, but not off tangent thing. But not only because of that, not only with the good gore effect where the guy's got his head splatter though, and the guy's hair flies back. But then I did not expect to see this because it surprised me. Okay, because that's the thing. When you go into films, you expect to be surprised, right? I didn't expect to see this when the next morning Andy wakes up. He's getting himself out of bed, and he's walking out the door, and then all of a sudden, the guy's face was skinned and then put on a watermelon because the guy where the guy was killed had a watermelon patch. So, and the guy's whole face was all skinned and then put on top of the watermelon. It was like this. And then, when the kid walked past, he quickly ran back. He was like, "Oh!" I did not expect to see that. It was just like that sitting on, like it's covering on top of watermelon, sitting on the kid's shelf like that. I didn't expect to see this. Like, okay, that's a pretty good effect. I think it was. I forget who did the effects of this. I forget who did the effects in this film. I thought it was it Canby? I'm not sure, or was it Tony Gardner? Because Tony Gardner, he had a cameo appearance in Seed of Chucky when he got his head cut off. I forget, but it was pretty. But the gore in this film, practical gore effects, is pretty good in this film. But that one with the face on the watermelon skinned, I didn't expect to see that. But he was going to get rid of it though. But the detective's mother stopped. Well, he was stopped by the mother, and he's saying, so he quickly had to lie, saying, "Oh, it's a gift for the detective's mother." So, but eventually he had to go back into her house to get the thing and to dump it. So, and then the next thing, now they know what was wrong with Chucky because after that, they say, "Now he won't hurt you no more. Now we can play." Just how the way Mark Hamill voices, he does a really good job. So now they want to take him apart. They pull the thing off of him, his core, and then dumps down the chute. But then the guy who does the maintenance in the building, finds him. He wants to put us back together because he wants to sell him on eBay. And the guy, you can tell now the guy is a total creep because he has his little security cameras he put into the girl's apartment, like especially cameras so he can spy on Andy's mom when she's in the bathroom. So he's a creeping, peeping Tom, basically, was what he is. Pervert. But he puts the things back together, and which he also gets it pretty good when he has because now because Chucky, remember, he's AI. He has his AI system where with his finger he turns all these buddy things that the company makes, all these buddy things where it's like lights, TV, thermostat, even a thermostat. So even the buzzsaw table. So he can control all the electronics that was made by this company. If so, to the point where he gets like a stab in the leg, and then he's on top of the hot pipes, and he makes Chucky makes the temperature rise a bit further to burn the guy's hands, and especially he's right up the top of the saw table, and he falls, and you get some pretty good gore effects, and the guy's leg just falls off. So you get some pretty good gore effects in this movie. So that's another thing. That's another good thing is it got some good gore in this. And then the next thing that another victim is the detective's mom, because through his recordings he heard that the mom, the detective's mom, said, "Oh, you're my new best friend too." So she was going to go out to a bingo night, and she has an app on her phone where it does from that company does a self-driving car basically. So she sits in the passenger seat, and while the car drives it on its own to get to her give it to her location. But then Chucky controls it with his AI. He controls the whole thing, make the car spin around, and then imagine then he was outside, but then somehow he teleported her into the car in with her, and then just stabs the woman. And Brian Tyree Henry finds his mom dead too, and he realizes he's put in connections with Andy, and then finds out that the doll is with the kid, this other kid that they were with. Gets in a fight, and seeing that things that Aubrey Plaza saying their son is being a little unstable. And then it gets into the finale at this toy store, where there is a second, where there's a buddy number 2 coming out. There's a crowd waiting, and one of the employees puts on the costume of the new doll, and he gets stabbed in the neck. So as he's walking around, he's like little like this, and while he's bleeding inside. And another thing I didn't expect to see this because, oh, this is a little girl who wanted to meet the mascot. Then he pulls the head off, the helmet or the head off, and blood just goes to spurts right into the girl's face, the little girl's face. I was like, that is messed up, you know. Oh, a girl wants to meet the mascot. All of a sudden, the head pulls the head off, and then blood just spurts right into the girl's face. I couldn't help but laugh because like that's messed up. But then Chucky locks down the building and he controls like all the other dolls as well in drones. Now that's another issue I have with it. I think they could have make the carnage a bit more like. Yeah, there's a couple of kills here and there. Like, well, the one employee that was stabbed, he gets attacked by the drone. Tyree Henry, he gets attacked, but he doesn't die though. But he gets like stabbed like in the chest. There was another one that gets attacked by one of the buddies, which was one of them was like a bear. So, and then Andy's mom gets abducted by Chucky, and he's the one who, he makes his friends go out, but he's the one who face him alone. And he's just walking, he's like arms himself with a saw, and he's just walking. You get a cool reference where there's this toy car, police car, runs by him, and you can hear RoboCop's voice, Peter Weller's RoboCop voice. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. So yeah, it was another cool reference as well. Finds his mom tied up, and she was the machine's gonna raise up to hang her, to be hanged. And then there's some CG moments, like I said, there is a CGI part where Chucky just leaps out like this, ah! And eventually he gets taken down. Like first he gets stabbed in the core, but he's still alive. And then Tyree, who was still alive, he shoots him. And so eventually he dies, and then eventually Chucky dies, and especially when the Andy and the other kids, they just clearly could just destroy him completely apart. And another one cast member writing especially were Tim Matheson, Johnny Quest himself from the old from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon series. Yeah, Johnny Quest, Tim Matheson, who voiced Johnny Quest. He's like the guy who's like I guess he's like the CEO of the Buddies company. He's just writing. You see him like here and there on the TV. So he sent his apologies of recalling all the Buddy stuff to make sure this doesn't happen again. And of course, it leaves a sequel bait ending where one of the buddies in the box with the glowing red eyes. So, but yeah. I enjoy. Now, despite the couple of issues I have, I still enjoy the Child's Play remake. I thought the director here, Lars Klevberg, I think he did a good job directing this film. Hell of a lot better than what Dom Mancini directed. I'm sorry. Get pissed at me. Well, I'm talking about Dom Mancini. Get pissed at me. Which he's not gonna see. He's not gonna see this video anyway. So what is it? What do I care? But I'm glad he's gonna be. I'm glad he's pissed about this remake. Better than the films you directed, sir. But this guy here did a lot better, hell of a better job than you did for your 3 films. But I thought the kid who played Andy, Gabriel Bateman, I thought he did a really good job. especially when it was the bond between him and Chucky which made the film work. The chemistry they had with each other. Mark Hamill, I thought he did a really good job voicing Chucky. He's not on the same level with Brad Dourif though, not by a long shot though. But I thought he did a really competent job of voicing Chucky. I thought his voice was really good as Chucky. I'm your buddy, your special buddy. Brian Tyree, Henry, I thought he did a pretty decent job as the cop too. But Aubrey Plaza, I'm sorry to say, I thought she was one of the weakest points of the movie for me. I like her as April in Parks and Recreation. She was funny in that show, but here, I think she did not fit the part as playing the mom. Not on the same, but especially on the same part, like on the same level with Catherine Hicks as the mom in the original. So that's the first issue. Sorry, Aubrey Plaza, but not this type of role for the Child's Play remake. Funny as April Ludgate though, but not in this. But wrong choice of casting for as the mom. It's me being honest. So for most of the cast was good, for the most part, like I said, excluding Aubrey Plaza. The cast so far was decent. The issue was with the kids, the friends that Andy was supposed to make. I would say they're pretty a little forgettable though, because you didn't know much about the kids, so they didn't go full in depth about these kids here. I would say that's another issue, because you didn't know much about these other kids here. So that's like the third issue, and the gore is definitely there, definitely especially with the asshole boyfriend when his head gets chopped off and his face gets skinned and put on the watermelon, or the maintenance guy when he falls on the table saw and his leg gets sawed off, and especially he gets cut in the groin area as well. And then that one scene with the employee gets stabbed in the neck, and then suddenly the blood just goes dispersed into the girl's face. So you definitely got your gore there, and it's pretty good. And the effects of Chucky, yeah, like I said, some of the CG moments is there, but for the most part, I do appreciate that they still went with the practical effects. And I think this the third act where the toy store, there could have been a bit more going on with the carnage and all that. You could have had like more of a body count in there, like some of the drones cutting some more people, or some more when the other buddy dolls attacking more people. I think they could have gone a bit more on that. So overall, though, not that bad of a definitely not bad of a remake by miles. I think it's a very enjoyable remake to me. It's one of the better remakes I've seen in a while, and better than all the shitty ones I've seen, and better than the Lion King remake. Keep on bringing it up again. So, and the score by Bear McCree, I think it's a decent score. I think it was. What you guys know about Bear McCree? He does the score on The Walking Dead, if anyone knows about that. But I think his score was pretty decent. But I preferred his score in Godzilla King of the Monsters, because he also did the score in that film as well. So, but the score was all right. And the film is a short film as well. It's only about 90 minutes, but take out the end credits, hour and 20 some minutes. So it's a short film. So I'm glad they didn't drag it out too long. So that's another. The pacing was fine. So it's a short movie. As for special features, it has a commentary with the director, making of Child's Play, bringing Child's Play Chucky to life, soundtrack trailer, and claymations. So yeah, well, overall, so for the most part, cast is decent, the score decent, the gore is there, definitely. But the main focus was the story of the film, was between the relationship between Andy and Chucky. That's what made the film work for me. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite films this year. I enjoy the Child's Play remake. And it did get some praise for it. I think it's a 63% Rotten Tomatoes. But for the most part, though, that's what critics think, though. But I think the most part, I think people don't like this remake. I don't get it, though, but I think it's a very enjoyable remake to me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Child's Play remake from 2019. Definitely a favorite film for me this year. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.